Week 33, Thunder Log, flog him. That crazy guy right there, sitting on your screen. Um, just jumping into July's numbers. Just the general PNL. Uh, horrible month, horrible month. It's a bloodbath. It's a massacre. Think, think of the Meridolians. Um, yeah. So the bulk of the equity losses, investment sale losses, came from that Blue Owl, selling that off, getting rid of that, offloading that position last year, or excuse me, from last year, accumulating so much, and it's become very apparent that that was a sizing issue and seems to be pretty thematic across my own trading activity within Petroleum. And so with that, obviously, I'm offloading other positions that are oversized and, well, I'm kind of setting the grounds for the secession plan, or, the removal of certain tickers, certain names off, offloading the book, reconstructing it. I'm thinking just go into the 3 or 4 position, the direction of only having 3 or 4 actual equity positions, and then whatever else is cash, and leaving that as that, along with some forecast event stuff. But this month's been pretty, or last month was pretty rough, on that end of things. Maybe it's just volume, it was this or that. Not totally certain there. Across time, obviously, I was able to nullify the damage that was done through that one equity loss, right? Where you're taking a hit immediately, or when you sell, even though you may have been able to what is it, create an income stream per se, collect a premium stream off of holding this asset, trying to offload it week to week. At a certain point, it's working, or it's not creating enough value, enough cash flow. Might as well offload the thing, take the pain now. And I think it's like prolonging the inevitable problem where you're probably going to end up taking a loss at the same time, obviously. I think it could have been a decent income stream when it comes to the options proceeds, which haven't really been reduced this quarter, or excuse me, this last month. Um, However, obviously, you know, coming off of, let's say, Sarepta, where that position created a lot of premium, where selling longer dated covered calls, and then stock tanks, and just like, well, I'm taking the 80% gain here, which was shown. I mean, you can see it. I think I talked about it last month for this episode, these types of episode, or the quarterly episode. Um, and in touching that, obviously, there's probably going to be a loss on next, or this month's book, when it comes to a certain, certain names. But otherwise, like, I think so far, I'll have to monitor this. I've implemented a report card week to week kind of system, um and seeing how that transpires. And obviously, no dividends this last month. I believe if we even have dividends, it's going to be next month or the following month. Um, or this month or the following month. But I don't believe we hold anything pertaining, or holding, giving dividends. It seems pretty inefficient. Maybe not so much on a tax basis as a partnership, but on the angle of a investment kind of thing, where you're chasing more returns than um, cash flows or stability. I think a part of me is more interested in just kind of enabling that in a company account rather than my personal accounts, where yesterday it was a marvelous day for my PA. However, at least looking at the bleed, pretty rough month. You have your best month operationally speaking, and then you have your worst month the following month. But there are things you can project out, some things you can plan for. So not necessarily um horrible, but when you look at the month to month revenue for the year, yeah, that looks pretty bad. But you don't really see that in the cash balances, right? It's just like the asset side is kind of taking a dampener. So even if you have to record it as a loss, you see it, but you don't quite see it or feel it. And too certain there. I'm starting to add certain positions and just this phase out this. Well, what is it? The churn kind of position churn. And so maybe I'm too all over the place with positions and I should concentrate, which is part of the thought here. I'll have to get with my business partner, but um, kind of discuss some of this and maybe with two other associates of ours. But kind of examining that aspect and thought. You're like, okay, this is what I think, this is what I know, this is how it's traded so far, like each individual asset's traded so far. What direction do you go in? Or how do you stick with this or make it work? And obviously, there's gonna be road bumps along the way, and that's been July, really. I don't think I think that was like the bulk of the damage on the book. Everything else is like I think there's maybe 2,000 in losses, or unrealized losses total left on the book, but then the rest is just holding near or at um, acquisition price or the holding price versus the actual market value. Uh, but I have this weird accountant viewpoint where you're buying the product and trying to sell it for a higher value than you bought it for. Um, as a trader, as an investor, it's a different story, and I think if certain names, um, certain tech names, rocket ship companies, and AI companies, if they IPO or hit certain price points, I'm scaling up the book exactly how I intend to and offloading everything else, as it's not really. I'd rather concentrate the company, mentally speaking, you kind of think of it like a fund, but obviously it's a partnership, so it's not investment partnership, proprietary trading outfit, whatever. It's just two guys, um, and figuring out how to like tackle that or go at that philosophically while you're also working or whatever. You got to have your day job, um, which I mean I think yesterday's stock market performance, or at least my portfolio performance, has kind of guaranteed me at least a year's worth of burn if I were to just take that money out and quit my job tomorrow. That's not a smart play, but the option's there. And there's things to think about, right? So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this brief one, and pick my brain. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Was it Twitter is probably still or I mean it's not but Palantrader, uh, PALAN trader. Yeah, it's stupid. What else? Like Instagram's Instagram. Don't contact me there if you're some weirdo on the internet. Yeah. Bye.